Good morning, all of you. I'm Dr. Pradeep Kumar, working as assistant professor in St. Peter's Engineering College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. In the previous class, we have been learned about the secondary batteries. Okay. In the previous class, we have been learned about the secondary batteries. In that secondary batteries, in your syllabus, you have two examples. Okay, two examples for secondary batteries. The first one is uh, lead acid storage batteries. First one is lead acid storage batteries, and the second one is lithium ion cells or batteries. Second one is lithium ion cells or batteries. In the previous class, we have already discussed about the lead acid storage batteries, which is used frequently in the automobile fields. Is it clear? Yeah. In this session, we are going to learn about the lithium ion batteries. Lithium ion batteries. Lithium ion battery, or also we can call lithium ion cells. Lithium ion batteries, or we can also call lithium ion cells, which is most important batteries, which are most important batteries. Nowadays, these lithium ion batteries are frequently used in various fields, various gadgets, various smartphones, laptops, isn't it? So, this is the future. Lithium ion batteries are the future batteries. Yeah, that means these batteries are having the prime importance in the among all the batteries here. Okay, now we'll see what are the lithium ion batteries or cells, what is the construction mode is there, how the working principle is working in these lithium ion cells, and also we'll check about the advantages and uses. Okay, yeah. Coming to the introduction about the lithium ion batteries or cells here, these lithium ion batteries or cells are having the mainly three components. Okay, yeah, even all the batteries are having the these three components, that is electrodes, anode electrode, cathode electrode, and electrolytic solution. Here also we have three components, which is anode electrode and cathode electrode and electrolytic solution and separator also. In the previous class, actually, we have been discussed about the in the primary batteries. We have been learned about the lithium batteries or lithium cells. Okay, yeah. What is the difference between the lithium batteries, that is primary lithium primary batteries, and lithium ion batteries, which is a secondary battery? In the lithium primary batteries, we have been used the lithium metal as an anode, isn't it? Pure lithium plates, pure lithium metal we have been used in the primary batteries, isn't it? But in the case of the lithium ion batteries or cells, here we are not going to use pure lithium metal as an anode. Okay, in the lithium ion batteries, we are not going to use the pure lithium metal, we are not going to use in this case. Okay, we'll see what is the construction of the lithium ion batteries. Okay, here we have mainly in the lithium ion batteries, here we have mainly three components three components. Those are, the first one is anode electrode. Anode electrode. In the anode electrode, actually we are using lithium intercalated. The graphite is nothing but it is having the layered structured. So in these layers here, the lithium can intercalated. Okay, the lithium intercalated graphite, okay, is known as anode electrode in the lithium ion batteries. Is it clear? And coming to the cathode electrode. Here we are using again the layered cobalt oxide, which is having a rhombohedral structure. Rhombohedral structure. Okay, the layered cobalt oxide is used as cathodic electrode. Okay, and the third one, that is electrolytic solution. In the electrolyte, we are using the solution of lithium hexafluorophosphate in the mixture of ethylene carbonate and dimethyl carbonate. Here we have the prime importance of the electrolyte here. Okay, the electrolyte is the mixture of ethylene carbonate and dimethyl carbonate in the lithium hexafluorophosphate solution. Okay, this is the electrolyte we are using in the lithium ion batteries or lithium cells. Okay, yeah. Here we have the prime importance. Actually, we have the prime importance of the electrolyte here. We will see. We'll see what is the importance of the electrolyte here. Here we have some requirements for an electrolyte. Here we have some requirements for an electrolyte in lithium ion batteries. What are the requirements we need actually for a electrolyte in lithium ion batteries? For that, here the first requirement is these electrolytes should able to pass the lithium ions. Okay, it should have the capability of passing the lithium ions, Li plus ions in the electrolyte. Okay, these electrolytes should have the capability of passing the lithium plus ions from one electrode to another electrode, and it should resistance to electrons. It should resistance to electrons. That is, it should not allowing the electrons from one electrode to another electrode. It should be only able to pass the lithium ions only. Okay, this is the one requirement. And another requirement is this electrolyte should have the chemical compatibility. This electrolyte should have the chemical compatibility, chemical compatibility, chemical compatibility with the with the with the chemicals present in the chemicals present in the chemicals present in the battery and electrodes okay. That means this electrolyte should have the chemical compatibility with the which the chemicals are present in the battery as well as electrodes. Okay, and the finally we have one more requirement, that is this electrolyte should have the it should work in the different temperature ranges. Should work in different temperature ranges. That means it should have the thermal stability. Okay, these are the main requirements which should have an electrolyte in the lithium ion batteries. Okay, if you see the requirements of an electrolyte here, the electrolyte should have the compatibility or capability of passing the lithium ions through it to one electrode to another electrode, and also need to have the resistance to electron flow. It should not allow the electron flow, but it should allow the lithium ions passing. Okay, this is one requirement. And another requirement is the electrolyte it should have the chemical compatibility. With the chemicals present in the battery and also electrodes. Is it clear? And finally we have one more requirement. It should have the thermal stability. It should not go decompose in the higher temperatures. That means it should have the thermal stability. These are the main requirements which we need for an electrolyte in the lithium ion batteries. Okay, yeah. Next we'll discuss about the construction of a lithium ion battery. Construction of a lithium ion battery. Coming to the construction here, as we discussed, that is, here we have the lithium intercalated graphite as an acting as anode electrode, and layered cobalt oxide is acting as an cathode, and the mixture of the ethylene carbonate and dimethyl carbonate in the lithium hexafluorophosphate is an electrolyte. Okay, if you see the construction, we will check the simple construction of the lithium ion batteries here. In this, first we have the layered. Just observe how I am going to draw the construction of the lithium ion batteries. Okay. Yeah, if you see here, here we are going to draw the layers type of the structure for anode. First we are going to draw the layer structures of the anode. Okay. Yeah. Just observe how I am uh, going to draw the layered structure here, then only you will get understand, otherwise you will get have an confusion. Okay. Yeah. In the same way, here also we have we have we have layer type of cobalt oxide which is acting as a cathode. Isn't it? This is also, these are the layers. These are the layers. If you see, these are the layer structure. Okay. Which is packed here. The left side we have the lithium intercalated graphite anode. Okay. These we are going to construct in the external device, to the external device. These are the, in the left side we have the anode, lithium intercalated graphite. Okay. Lithium intercalated graphite. Now we already know the structure of the graphite, isn't it? In the structure of the graphite we have the layer type of structure, isn't it? Different layers are arranged in the simultaneously, isn't it? In between the layers here we have the intercalated lithium. It's not a pure metal, isn't it? It's actually a graphite which is intercalated by the lithium. It is not a pure lithium metal. So this is the difference between the lithium primary batteries as well as lithium ion secondary batteries. Okay. Yeah. And this is known as lithium intercalated graphite, which is acts as anode. It is having the negative electrode, it is a positive electrode, and it is a layered type of layered cobalt oxide, which is having rhombohedral shape. Here we have, in between the two electrodes, here we have one separator. Which is made from the perforated plastic, which can allows the lithium ions through the electrolyte from one electrode to another electrode. This is the separator. This total setup is immersed in the packed in the electrolytic solution. Gel type electrolyte is there actually. Electrolyte is lithium hexafluorophosphate in the mixture which is having the mixture of ethylene carbonate and dimethyl carbonate. Okay, this is the simple setup of the lithium ion batteries. if we see the structure of the lithium ion batteries here, we have the layer type of lithium intercalated graphite, which is acting as a anode, and here right side we have the lithium layered type of the cobalt oxide rhombohedral shaped layered type of cobalt oxide, which is acting as the cathode electrode. In between the two electrodes, here we have one separator, that is known as perforated plastic, which is made from the plastic which is having the perforated. That means perforated means here we have microporous plastic, okay, and which allows the lithium ions from one electrode to the another electrode, okay. Yeah, here in this total setup will be placed in the gel type of electrolyte, that is the mixture of ethylene carbonate and dimethyl carbonate, which is present in the lithium hexafluorophosphate solution, okay. This is the total setup of the lithium ion batteries. Coming to the working principle, okay, coming to the working principle, you just observe here working principle. Here also we have two modes of working. In the working principle we have two modes, that is discharging process as well as recharging process, okay. We will check the what type of the reactions are there at discharging mode as well as the recharging mode. First we will check about the discharging mode, okay. In the discharging mode, here we have the two types of reaction at anode and as well as at cathode, isn't it? Here we have two types of reactions at anode as well as at cathode. At anode, actually what we have? This one is lithium intercalated graphite, isn't it? This is a layer type of the cobalt oxide is there, isn't it? This one is the anode, this one is the cathode. We are discussing about the reactions at the anode. So here we have LiX(C6). Okay? That means here X number of lithium ions are present in the graphite. Graphite means here C6, isn't it? So which type of reactions are there? At anode, oxidation reactions can occur. Oxidation means loss of electrons, isn't it? So if you see this LiX(C6) can dissociate as C6 means graphite remains plus here X number of Li plus ions can release and X number of electrons also will release. The loss of electron is known as oxidation, isn't it? And also here releasing of lithium cations, lithium plus ions also takes place. The released lithium plus ions here, these lithium plus ions can move towards the cathode. That means slowly these lithium plus ions can move towards the cathode electrode and here intercalated in the layer of the cobalt oxide. Okay, here it can goes and intercalated like this. This is the actual discharging mode. Here this is the anodic reaction. What happened at a cathode? What happens at cathode? If you see here, what we have? Initially we have cobalt oxide, isn't it? So through the electrolyte, the passage of the lithium ion plus can takes place, isn't it? And through the external source, the electrons can move towards the cathode. So finally we have here lithium plus ions as well as electrons, isn't it? XLi plus X electrons. So we'll get lithium XCOO2. Okay, finally we have the lithium XCOO2 here at cathode. Okay, this is total discharging mode. Okay, in the recharging process, exactly we know already, exactly reverse reactions can take place. Reverse reactions can take place. Now we'll see what are the reactions. In the recharge mode, we have the exact reverse reactions. Exactly reverse reactions. Okay. Recharging. In the recharging, first we'll see at cathode here. At cathode, if you check, finally we have deposited here, the lithium has been deposited here as LiXCOO2, isn't it? This is we have at cathode. So when we are doing the recharging process, then the exact revert reactions can take place. That means slowly these lithium intercalated lithium ions can dissociate, like XLi plus X electrons plus COO2. Okay, that means here slowly these lithium ions, yeah, if you check the reactions, what happens here initially, after complete discharging, we have structure like this. That means there is no any lithium ions in this graphite, but we have the lithium ions in the layered cobalt oxide electrode, that is at cathode. So what happens here in the recharging mode? If you see here, this LiXCOO2 can dissociate into XLi plus X electrons and cobalt oxide, isn't it? Remains cobalt oxide layered here, and these released XLi plus can move towards the reverse direction. Li plus ions can moves towards the anode. Okay, cathode to anode. So slowly these lithium ions can intercalated in the layered graphite. Okay, and electrons can move by the external circuit. Okay, so here again we have the Li plus is there, electrons is there, and graphite is there. So at anode we have the reaction, graphite is there, isn't it? Initially graphite is there, plus passed Li plus ions also is there, and electrons also there, which is comes by the external circuit. Then we will get finally here LiXC6. Lithium intercalated graphite will be regenerated here. Okay, lithium intercalated graphite will be regenerated here in the recharging mode. These are the related reactions at cathode and anode. Okay, yeah, this is the reactions occur at the discharge mode as well as recharging mode. Now if you see here, simply we can say in the discharging mode is the spontaneous reactions, isn't it? Discharging mode is spontaneous, and recharging mode, that means here we are giving the external energy, isn't it? External electric source in the recharging mode. But in the case of the discharging mode, here there is no any external energy, isn't it? So in the discharging mode, these intercalated lithium ions can move towards the cathode in the discharging mode, isn't it? In the recharging mode, again these intercalated lithium ions can move towards the anode. Okay, and this is the mechanism behind the lithium ion battery cells. Okay, yeah. And what are the advantages of the lithium ion batteries? Here we have some advantages of the lithium ion batteries. These lithium ion batteries are actually having the, it can generate the high voltage. Okay, it can generate the high voltage. Okay, these lithium ion batteries having almost advantages. Coming to the advantages, these lithium ion batteries are having the high electric voltage, that is almost it can give 3.7 volts. Okay, and also these lithium ion batteries are having the lightweight. Okay, yeah, and also these lithium ion batteries can work in the different temperatures, temperature variable, different temperature variable. And coming to the uses, these lithium ion batteries we can use in the smartphones, laptops, costly gadgets, etc. These are the uses of the lithium ion batteries. What are the advantages here? Here these lithium ion batteries can generate the very high current, that is 3.7 volts. It is almost 3 times than the nickel cadmium batteries. The voltage is almost 3 times greater than the nickel cadmium batteries. And also these lithium ion batteries are having the smaller in size, that is it is having the lightweight, and different temperature variable. Here these lithium batteries can work in the different temperature ranges. And coming to the uses, here we have the we are using these lithium batteries nowadays in the smartphones, laptops, and so many costly gadgets. Okay, so these are the importance of the uses of the lithium ion batteries. Okay, yeah, this is the total discussion about the lithium ion batteries, which is a secondary battery. Okay, we have finished the total batteries syllabus, and in the next class we will discuss about the new topic. Okay.